Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As oh my goodness, it seems like a new day is coming to the crypto industry. One of the most disrespectful people towards the crypto market has been King Jung Gary Gensler. And something you need to know is, despite the bold talk from Congress and despite the recent inaction, action is beginning to take place. I've been working behind the scenes to bring plenty of awareness to our political leaders about what's been going on with Gary Gensler. And we're beginning to make breakthroughs. Here, Bill Huizenga stated since Gary Gensler won't abide by his own policies to come in and talk, the House GOP will hold him accountable. Today, as promised, our oversight of the SEC begins with a request for documents surrounding their interactions with Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and the Justice Department. Ladies and gentlemen, something all of you need to remember is that Gary Gensler, he was heavily involved in conversations and creating policy around FTX and giving FTX favorable treatment, despite the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried has ended up being one of the biggest fraudsters in American history. He was choosing favorites. He was choosing a scammer over productive and compliant crypto companies. And his recent actions against Kraken and their staking as a service program just proves that to be the case. Tom Emmer also weighs in, stating, to be clear, staking enables more people to participate in building the next generation of the internet. Gary Gensler's regulatory purgatory hurts everyone in the United States, leaving them in the dust while these opportunities are accessible offshores. And something else that needs to be added and addressed is that Gary Gensler is pushing innovation outside of the United States. Brad Garlinghouse even weighs in, stating, stepping back for a moment from what's happening in the US, just in the last few weeks, the number of positive global regulatory developments are energizing. Continuing its history of being tech forward, Dubai published an extensive new set of tech agnostic rules for crypto market participants, covering compliance standards, advertising, issuance, and more. Australia's Treasury is looking to reform licensing and custody for crypto and bolster customer protections. They recently published a token mapping consultation and are looking for public input before updating existing frameworks. The UK HMT's new consultation reflects the government's intent to establish a proportionate, clear framework that allows firms to innovate while maintaining financial stability, an opportunity for the UK to become a global crypto hub. South Korea's Financial Services Commission published guidelines that delineate what would be considered a security token versus a payment token, and how those are separately governed. The list goes on. Brazil's new legislative framework, for example. Note the commonalities. These regulators are providing leadership and doing the work that we desperately are missing in the United States. Unsurprisingly, this is where Ripple is growing, and this is what's so frustrating. During the dot-com tech bubble, we saw the United States be leaders, allowing companies to be able to trade, allowing companies to be able to grow with common sense regulations that put innovation first. Now, we're taking a backseat on the world stage, letting the world grow and pushing innovation out with hostile actions. Ripple is not just fighting for themselves, they are fighting for the whole industry. And we're very, very close to finally getting a resolution for this case. If Ripple has a favorable victory, we could very well see innovation in the US continue. But if not, things could get more frustrating here stateside. That being said, though, guys, Gary Gensler was on CNBC being very public about his critique about crypto. And here, please listen very quickly about what he had to say about Kraken's staking program.
Pretty much all the cryptocurrencies are down on the back of this news. Chair Gensler, it's great to see you this morning. There's a phrase online where they say, "Tell it to me like I'm 5." So for those who are uninitiated into what happened here, tell it to me like I'm 5. What was Kraken doing, and what was the problem that you were trying to solve?
Andrew, what Kraken was doing was asking the American public for their coins, crypto tokens, and saying, I'll give you a return, 4% to 21% returns. And the problem was they were not disclosing to the investing public the risk that the investing public was entering into. And we have a basic bargain in the United States since the 1930s. You can take whatever risks you want. Companies like Kraken can offer investment contracts and investment schemes, but they have to have full, fair, and truthful disclosure. And this puts the investors who watch your program in a better position. That's our basic bargain. They were not complying with that basic law.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, on that specific point, I agree with Gary. I feel for Gary. That I could get behind. We don't want more bankruptcies like FTX to happen. We don't want exchanges to be using consumer funds behind their back. And we want the level of risk to be disclosed to customers. Remember back in the day, Kraken was one of the safer crypto exchanges on the planet, and I still do believe they are. But the fact that they got sued is not the issue for me. The fact that they got sued and we're still in a place where there's a lack of guidance is my problem. And it's the problem of the SEC and their regulation by enforcement approach. Now guys, this next clip I'm about to play you is an absolute bombshell and something I want you to pay extremely close attention to. But first, there's something very important that I need to warn the entire XRP community about. As I have been saying on my channel, I do believe a very, very important window for an altcoin season is possible. We've been seeing AI projects taking off a bit. Hell, we've been seeing HBAR beginning to ramp up as a crypto project as well, and price action has been following. In my personal opinion, this crypto that I'm about to share with my community is the next one that's going to have a very powerful uptrend, and I have a significant warning for. I just posted a brand new extreme bull run warning for this specific crypto project on my OnlyFans in the description below. And not only is it at an immaculate entry price, but I've also been hearing great rumors about what could be breaking as far as news is concerned over the next few days. Please take a look at that. And now let's take a look at Gary Gensler being put in his place by his very own SEC commissioner, Hester Pierce.
Gary, I want to read you something. This is Hester Pierce, someone you know well. He's a Republican commissioner of the SEC.
And great respect for my fellow commissioner.
He disagreed with your decision. She did. I'm sorry. She disagreed with the decision. Let me just read you something. Using enforcement actions to tell people what the law is in an emerging industry is not an efficient or fair way of regulating, she says. Moreover, staking services are not uniform, so one-off enforcement actions and cookie-cutter analysis does not cut it. A paternalistic and lazy regulator settles on a solution like this one in this settlement. What is your reaction?
Well, the commissioner and I have a very good relationship. We chat regularly and have lively policy debates and debates around these matters. Let me step it back. The SEC staff is really dedicated, serve the public, work hard staff. And we have for decades used the various tools Congress has given us to protect the investing public. And if that means somebody is breaking the law, non-compliant, we do use enforcement. where there are authorities that Congress has given us, we do write regulations, and we do both. And I would even just say, if you look at the history of insider trading, a lot of what we've done around insider trading starting decades ago was through enforcement actions. This is not something new at all. All we're saying to this non-compliant, generally, largely non-compliant industry is come in and properly follow the law. Disaggregate, segregate the customer funds, and protect the customer funds, which is what broker-dealers under the law need to do. The exchanges, register as an exchange, and disaggregate those hedge fund opportunities that you're taking and market making. Sure. So there is a clear way to do this, and there's forms on our website. I think it's just a talking point that the industry is using. They know how to do this. They are just choosing not to do it.
Well, let me ask you, talking about clarity, and this is maybe a philosophical, sort of broader policy perspective. I think that there is a common view that your office is using all available means effectively to keep crypto out of the mainstream financial system through enforcement, accounting rules, inspections. Clearly, there's not real guidance yet on custody. And this may very well be a reasonable policy choice, if that's the choice. The question is, if that's the choice, why not just say it publicly?
We're using all available tools. We're talking directly to market participants. We take the meetings. We say, this is how you comply. There's a handful of tokens that have actually registered. The intermediaries, the storefronts, if you wish, the casinos that people are investing in and investing at need to properly comply and disentangle these bundled products. The business model that they've set up is rife with conflicts. And so we've been very candid with them. I've done it in multiple speeches since I came to the agency. We'll continue to engage. We're technology neutral. But if this field has any chance of survival and success, it's time-tested rules and laws to protect the investing public. Disclosure, full, fair, and truthful disclosure. Address conflicts and disaggregate these bundled businesses, and don't have your hand in the customer's pocket using their funds for your own platform.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but Gary Gensler's comments are extremely disingenuous. Hester Pierce's own SEC commissioner is calling him out, saying this is a lazy way for a regulator to go about his business. Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. institutions and most good faith actors in crypto want to comply with laws. The issue is when companies like Ripple and like Library come in to talk with the SEC about how to comply and exactly what they're doing in good faith, the SEC slaps an enforcement action and a lawsuit against them, forcing them to miss the crypto bull run and costing them hundreds of millions of dollars in legal fees. You see, that's the problem. So don't tell crypto companies to come in and register and comply and talk to us when what you do is nothing but destroy their business models. Ladies and gentlemen, this is simple. There is no regulatory clarity in the United States. It's a gray area so the SEC can try and bring the hammer down to bring in as many millions as they can. I like to call it the United States success tax in crypto. Oh, you're over here complying. You're over here trying to build a business. Here's a couple $1 million you have to pay. On your way, so we can do it to someone else. You see, but the thing is, in my personal opinion, this ramping up of regulatory actions against crypto exchanges, it's 100% a reaction to FTX. And yet FTX is the exchange Gary Gensler was going to give clarity for and an advantage to. Oh, the company we keep. The company we keep. Gensler kept Sam Bankman-Fried very close, the biggest scammer in crypto history. I wonder what that says about him and his character. Maybe comments like this right here are very accurate. Even the Kraken CEO is calling on Congress to protect the US crypto industry following the settlement with the SEC. You see, we saw Library have to get their business destroyed. Nexo paid a massive multi-million-dollar fee, and Kraken hit a major settlement as well just to continue to operate. They all made fun of Ripple and XRP when we got sued. But now we're at the end of the road, about to get full-blown clarity, as Gary is going to start coming after crypto exchanges and cryptos as a whole. Karma is really a bitch, and so's Gary Gensler. But if there's something I do want to add a cap off this video for today, it's this. All these new enforcement actions act as a great initial indicator for me to understand that this case against Ripple is beginning to end. Resources need to be diverted somewhere else, and Gary Gensler is being given enough power at this given time to continue to come after crypto companies. Ripple is a really bad case for him. Ripple is a case where the SEC actually looks pretty bad. A decision by the judge or a settlement is a likely way this case is going to end. They've wasted the XRP army and Ripple's time for long enough, as Kingdom Gary is going to try and build on his legacy. And as we're less than 45 days away from a likely resolution for this case, the window is closing, and the probability that Gary Gensler is going to settle with Ripple keeps increasing. All I'm telling every single one of you is, regulations will ultimately be great for Ripple and XRP adoption. XRP is likely to get full-blown clarity in the United States, and in my opinion, XRP being deemed a security by the judge is very unlikely. John Deaton's win in the Library case stating secondary sales by the judge of a crypto asset like Library or not securities is powerful, and I think that's going to play a pivotal role in why the XRP community and XRP the digital asset will succeed. Time will tell, but I'm here to warn every single one of you, our day in the sun is going to come. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple, who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple, a former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple, leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple, who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple, 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple, 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple, who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.